Hi Pisces. This is a pick a card for what the Akashic Records wants to tell you Pisces at this moment in time to do with 2021. Just before we go any further, just know that this reading is timeless. It's relevant anytime during 2021, and the reason the readings are designed so that you can come back to this channel at any point in 2021 and you might be guided to a different number or something like that. The other thing is, think about these to do with your sun, moon and rising sign, not just in your natal chart, but in your solar return chart and your progress chart, because these are all really important charts that tell a lot about what's going on for you during any particular year. So consider that also. And then basically my most favorite way to use these is the Akashic Records are completely and utterly multi-dimensional, limitless, and they are abstract. They're non-linear. In every way, the Akashic Records work non-linear. And in the same way, these readings are also designed to work non-linear. What I mean by that is, come at any point during 2021 to this channel and just ask your intuition, what is the message you most need to hear right now? Which zodiac sign is it in? And your intuition might tell you something like Libra, even though you have no significant astrology to do with Libra, but just trust that that is where the best message for you is at that moment in time. Cool. So all of that being said, I just first of all want to do a tiny little bit of astrology for you guys about what's going off in 2021. So obviously it's a really big year, particularly off the back of 2020. So what I really want to say is, the first word that I got when I was thinking about the astrology for you guys is alignment. I really feel like there's lots of different energies that are actually going to be really supportive for the Pisces energy, and particularly because Saturn and Jupiter, the Great Conjunction, which is really important, happens every 20 years. It's happened on the 21st of December 2020, and it was in your 12th house. So if you are ascendant rising sign Pisces, it will absolutely be in your 12th house more than likely. And essentially the 12th house, you rule the 12th house, so it just tells me there's going to be a lot of energy in a vicinity that you understand, that you have an innate ability, knowledge and appreciation of. And the 12th house is all things like the unconscious. I actually think it's unconditional love on a scale way beyond even unconditional love for humans. It's unconditional love for all that is, let's say, any type of species, any type of race, any kind of planet, however you want to look at it, right? It's also a space of like past lives, of you could actually say it's the space of the Akashic Records itself. So essentially I just feel like you guys, your intuition is going to be more on point than it's ever been before. I also really feel like you're going to be able to get much better communication from your subconscious, unconscious mind. And the reason is because obviously Jupiter and Saturn in this 12th house that you rule, but also Uranus, really important, makes really important aspects all year to Jupiter and Saturn, is in your 3rd house. Your 3rd house is like, I think of it as your consciousness, your conscious thoughts, your thinking process. And so I just feel like there's a really good bridge between your unconscious and your conscious thoughts. And therefore, I feel like any healing you go through, any healing crises will just happen fast, rapidly and quick. And that's one of the things that will happen here. I also just feel that, that essentially, I don't know, like you're just gonna, your intuition will be fine-tuned. So some of you will start to hear your spirit guides, some of you will start to hear like different voices that are all guiding and supporting you. Some of you will become very aware of the Akashic Records itself. Some of you will maybe have much more of an understanding when you meet people, are they in a past life, and what is the past life, and what does this mean for me, and what action should I take now. Some of you will have this to do with future lives, and just in a more less esoteric way, I just feel like you will intuitively know what is the next best step to take in any moment for yourself during 2021. And I do feel like that in itself is a real gift, because there is a lot of confusion in 2021 just globally, and there is a lot of illusions, deceits, are non-disclaimers. There's lots of things that are not being disclaimed, right? And I just feel like you guys are going to be in almost one of the best positions to be able to really see what's actually really going on. And I don't just mean that on a global scale, I mean that also fine-tuned into your own very specific community, family, work environment, whatever it might be. And so I really feel like there's going to be a lot of power for you in this kind of space. And also as well, because Neptune is still in your first house if you're rising ascendant, but it's going to be going into obviously new territory. And I just feel like this new territory is, I feel like we're stepping more into more of a kind of like, I want to say like a more mature consciousness to do with Neptune. Particularly for you guys. And so again, I feel that this is just going to mean that your intuition is really going to be really on point, and so it's really important to listen to it. And I also really feel like I just keep hearing this real thing, like you guys are really going to be able to see beyond illusions, like smokes and mirrors. You're going to see beyond that as well. And I think you're just going to, I just keep hearing this thing about non-disclaimers. I think you're just going to really just be in a very good position to make very grounded action off highly specific, in tune, intuitive insight. And I just really do feel like this will be powerful. I do also really feel like it's like because you've got the North Node of the Moon, Gemini, which is going to be in your 4th house. The 4th house is very much like deep psychology, your roots, your lineage, emotional fulfillment, even your home life and stuff like that. And I do feel like some of you will probably find that by the end of 2021, you really have moved where you live, or you very much moved how you receive emotional fulfillment in your life. And what I mean by that is, as more insight and understanding between your unconscious thoughts and your conscious thoughts can collaborate easier together, and the more that you really can see what's actually really going on in your life and what this means on a bigger perspective, you're actually going to start to make some I'm seeing a vision of a cat. I'm seeing like some really clever and very, I want to say cunning, but it's not quite that, but it's that kind of energy of just very smart, like astute decisions you will be making for yourself in your life. And this will inevitably mean that after 12 months of taking actions and making decisions with that kind of very keen insight and awareness, you will inevitably be in a very different place by the end of 2021. And so for many of you, this will probably mean some form of movement as what is your usual home environment. And for those of you that it doesn't involve that, it's just that I really feel like you will be in a place where you end up being, you're more emotionally fulfilled than you have ever been before by the end of 2021. But I also am hearing like it's an incremental thing. It's like a process. So this will be happening over literally 2021. And I do feel like whatever happens for you guys, round about, I think it's round about, let me just try and find the date. I think it's the 14th of May to the 27th of July. Jupiter, which rules your energy, Pisces, will be moving into your sign of Pisces, and it will go as far as 2 degrees. So if you look in your chart and you know where you're at to do with your sun, moon or rising sign, anything from 0 to 2 degrees Pisces, and I would even say probably up to 6 degrees Pisces, you're really going to be feeling this real new energy coming in May, June and July. And again, I really feel like I'm hearing that that's almost going to be like, I'm seeing a sailing boat that suddenly has a gust of wind and it really pushes it on massively. I'm seeing like that's the sort of energy that's going to be there for you for May, June and July, particularly if you have anything from 0 to 6 degrees in Pisces. It will be really pushing that along. And again, this just leads you to even more alignment, even more coherence. I don't know, it's just so powerful when all of you starts to get very clear, particularly in a world that will almost be very unclear. So again, you guys have this energy of almost like, it's almost like the one-eyed man. Do you know what I mean? So when nobody else can see, the person that has one eye is basically king. And that's the kind of energy that I'm kind of getting with you. But again, it doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel forceful. It just feels like you're somebody that ends up being in the right situation at the right time because you're just really listening to and following that inner voice. You're not particularly doing anything radical, but you're just slowly and steadily and consistently listening to that inner voice. And I really feel like it's going to be putting you in this just like amazing situation. I do feel like the first half of the year is just very fast moving for everybody, so collective consciousness, but also definitely for you. And then when Neptune goes retrograde later on in the year, I do think it will slow things down for you guys a little bit. Just so you know, Neptune is going to be in your sign of Pisces until 2025, so there's still a lot for you to grow in this area. And 2021, it kind of, if let's say the beginning of Neptune going into your sign, you were like a baby, and the end of Neptune going out of your sign, you're like a well and true elder. I feel like 2021 is almost like you're just past like the Saturn return age, so you're probably about 33, 34. I'm talking about this metaphorically to do with where Neptune is. So the amount of understanding and appreciation you have to Neptune, you're thinking it's kind of like about the understanding and appreciation that most 33, 34-year-olds have for life. So it's pretty astute, they're really getting there, but it's more like the growth that potentially happens from 30 to 45 becomes epic. And this is what I do feel is going to be happening with your intuition, with your compassion, with your creativity, with all of this type of energy. I do really see that from 2021 until now, literally 2025, when it goes out of your sign, this is when you're going to make the most incredible amount of growth to do with those kind of energies and areas which are so innately part of the Pisces archetype. So it's kind of like I feel like a really positive time for you. And then you've got to remember that by 2022, this is when Jupiter, the planet of good luck, obviously goes back into your sign of Pisces and stays there for like a year. So again, whatever you see happen when Neptune slightly lips into Pisces from May, June and July in 2021, this is going to give you a really good idea about what's coming up for you guys in 2022, and it does already feel positive. I know I did say this to you before, but I just want to re-emphasize it again. Because of where Chiron is, it's to do with your second house, it's to do with self-worth, what you value, etc. I really feel like lots will come up for you to do with your self-worth and your self-value, and it's kind of like it's going to go through a healing crisis. However, this is the most amazing thing that my guides instantly told me. They were like, yeah, but this is going to be like the fastest, easiest like healing crisis ever, so it won't even feel like a healing crisis, because there's really good, because again of this energy that you have of really being intensely aware of your unconscious as well as your consciousness, and it's just going to mean that a lot of healing or transformation or manifestations can happen so much quicker. And that's already on top of this Aquarius energy coming in, which again is going to, for everybody collectively, really speed things up to do with like healing, to do with manifesting, to do with all of these kind of things, because the energy will be a lot lighter and a lot quicker. So yeah, I really do see that is important for you. I do also feel like communication is going to be a big part for you guys as well, because you have Uranus in that sign of the third house, which is Gemini. And again, I just feel like there is really something about your immediate environment and where you live sort of going through quite a few changes in some way in 2021. But again, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel that you guys pay attention to how you communicate to yourself. Pay attention to how you communicate to yourself, because I feel like this is really going to be important. And again, I feel like you guys have got this guardian angel energy, just because although some aspects in astrology could be quite challenging for the Pisces energy, there's something about Saturn and Jupiter being in your house, the 12th house, the house that is your energy, which again, and along with these things with Jupiter then going into Pisces for a bit and then back into the energy of Aquarius, I don't know, I think there's something that's just going to be really beneficial for you guys. You've also probably got to remember that a lot of you Pisces, particularly say Pisces Sun, you potentially have either your Venus, Mars or Mercury also in Aquarius, okay, depending, because those planets never stray far from the sun. So there'll be quite a few of you listening to this that will actually have Aquarius archetype, maybe potentially quite strong in your energy too. And again, I feel like this is going to be like this other really supportive energy with what's going off. So things that maybe other astrologers might say might be quite challenging for the Pisces archetype, I don't know, I'm just hearing that there is like, and because it doesn't make sense through astrology, this is just like a psychic thing my guides are telling me, there is like this additional protection and support around you guys. Yeah, so I think that that's just like a really awesome thing. And then just lastly, just to quickly finish up, is this thing about eclipses. I really do feel like May, June, and December, the eclipses that happen then, because they're immutable signs, Gemini and Sagittarius, and obviously Pisces, your immutable sign, these will all be important for you, and they'll all be important for you in different types of ways. I do feel as well like there's going to be encouragement to sort of like there's going to be this encouragement with a lot of these eclipses that come along, where they're going to really be asking you to take more sustenance from the roots of your life. So that being childhood, family, your deep psychology, your emotional fulfillment, healthy relationships with food, all of these kind of things. It's really, the more healthy and balanced those areas of your life are, the more that I can see you can pulling up water and nutrients up through that bottom part of your chart, and the easier it's going to mean things become for your 10th house, which is also where the south node of the moon is going to be, with Sagittarius in your 10th house if you're Pisces rising. There's something that means that I feel like it's not necessarily that you'll put a huge amount of effort, some of you, on, goals and achievements and stuff like that, but actually the more balanced your roots are and the happier you are with your home, with your childhood, with your deep psychology, all of these type of things, the more effortlessly, almost like the leaves at the top of the 10th house, if I saw the 10th house as the leaves of a tree, the more that they can flourish and grow with seemingly little effort on your part. However, I do also want to point out on the other side, if the roots in your life, the roots of your chart, so that 4th house of home, emotional fulfillment, understanding your psychology, understanding your family lineage, understanding your relationship with your primary caregiver, if that is unbalanced, it will actually take away some energy from your 10th house things like goals, achievements, your career, stuff like that, because more energy will have to go in to kind of balancing out that roots, that bottom part of your life. So again, just be thinking about that all of the time. But also remember, if there is still any healing to be done to do with areas of the 4th house, childhood, home, deep psychology, emotional fulfillment, etc., just know that this can also happen rapidly because of this energy that I've talked about, with your unconscious and your conscious mind really being able to easily communicate with each other. So again, it doesn't have to be anything big or difficult, but I would say address any imbalances to do with those things from the past, to do with how happy you are, to do with your own personal psychology. Definitely look at addressing any imbalances there earlier rather than later, because it will mean that just more things will flow to you in that the opposite house, the 10th house of like career, achievements, outside world, stuff like that. So yeah, just be mindful about all of that. But I would imagine that quite a few of you have anyway probably had to do quite a lot of work to do with that homey sort of like your deep psychology, your patterns. I think 4th house is like past patterns, past psychological patterns that you have. I guess you guys will have worked on that quite a bit anyway in 2020, so maybe it's just more like a refinement, or it also just might be an appreciation of where you're from. There's that kind of energy, and really feeling at home with where you're from and the journey of life that you've had so far. I feel like for some of you it's almost like I'm hearing like a soothing process of feeling at peace with the journey that you are on, which also then brings many things to you in these other areas of your life. But again, I do feel like these things could be triggered in May, June and December with these eclipses that are coming through. So yes, just consider that. And then also, how would I say it? It's like, I do feel like there's 2 parts to 2021 for you guys. There's the first 6 months and then there's the second 6 months. And it's almost like a story. So the first 6 months is part 1, the second 6 months is part 2. And I think there's just something about that. Just remember this is almost like, it's 2 parts of a play basically, which are going to be coming together. And I do really feel like there could be some really big outer world changes for you guys around the end of May and or the beginning of December, with those eclipses in May and December. So depending on where you guys lie, as in terms of how the energy is moving, just consider that. So the end of May or the beginning of December could be quite critical points for you actually making a real transition in the outer world in some way. And I'm hearing it as a transition, not a transformation. So just obviously be mindful of that as well. Anything else I wanted to say? And just everybody, I mean, you've got Pluto in your 11th house if you're Pisces rising, and I would just say the thing with that is, and it's just something that's come through the Akashic Records a lot while I've been in and out of them for all of these readings, you know, everybody's going to be having this pull to really make new soul connections, new soul family, new soul tribe, new friendships, and even old friendships might become renewed into in like a new way. So it's almost like they now function in a different way. And I just feel like everybody's really, really ready for that. And I definitely feel that's something that'll be happening for you guys. And it'll probably be happening in a very deep, slow, gradual way with Pluto being in your 11th house. But essentially just be open to that type of energy as well. And almost sort of like, it's very much like what I'm hearing is letting new energy in. And you guys can also be letting new energy in with obviously the connections, the collaborations, the communities, the friendships that you make in whatever way that might be. So yes, that's what I'm getting for instantly and immediately for all of your kind of stuff. So now let me just, here are the piles for you guys to choose from. So obviously just feel into what feels right for you. This is for message number 1. And this is the crystal that goes with message number 1. This is message number 2. And this is the crystal that goes with message number 2. And then this is message number 3. And then this is the crystal that goes with message number 3. So obviously just feel in intuitively whichever one you feel like you are, and we will go, well actually we'll go straight over to number 1, but I just realised I've forgotten something that I've done for all of the other piles. And that is, you're the first one that this has happened to. You're literally the last sign that I've come to, and you're the first one. And funny enough as well, I lost something before I started this reading. My guides were like, this is all relevant to the Pisces energy. Be mindful that things might appear slightly out of sync in 2021, but actually it's more just that you are going to be adjusting yourself to be getting in sync with this new type of Aquarius energy. So also I feel like a lot of things might come back to you guys in a new way, essentially in 2021. There's things, there's people, there's situations, there's even your own thought processes, or even your own beliefs or goals or something like this. There's some things that I feel like they're going to come back to you in a new way, and it's going to set off a different type of rhythm, and that rhythm's going to be quite unique for what you usually experience in your life. But I'm hearing it's going to be really, really positive and supportive. So anyway, so what I've done through all of the piles is we've just pulled a card for what the Akashic Records just generally want to say to all of you guys collectively. And I did it for every other pile, so we'll do it for you guys too. So let's see. Oh wow, okay. So we have 2 of matches. So absolutely. So the 2 of matches is the 2 of wands for any of you that know tarot. I'm sure lots of you do. So this is very, very like, this is innovative, very creative, very dynamic, very inspiring, but also very collaborative type of energy. It's also an energy that's full of potential for the future. So again, like, I feel like you guys could probably have lots of ideas and things coming through you from collective consciousness and also from cosmic consciousness, because of, like we've said, Saturn and Jupiter being in the 12th house. And And to be honest, even with Uranus being in that third house, I don't know what I feel like it's going to do, but it's going to open up your mind to many different options and possibilities, as well as this strong Neptune energy that's now maturing for you guys and getting more stronger and more refined and more clear. So absolutely, I think the whole thing with this is look out for people that you can honestly collaborate with. And I feel like some of these people might be people that previously you had decided not to collaborate with, or previously collaborations didn't seem like a good idea with these people. But I feel like there's this thing again about what we said about things coming back to old things coming back to you in a new way. As long as situations and opportunities and people, they can return from your past, and if they come in with fresh energy and more grounded energy, then I feel like this is a really positive energy for you guys to collaborating with, whether it is love, business, family, creative projects, whatever it might be. Because I get this feeling that you guys have matured a lot over 2020, and it's this understanding that anyone or anything that's coming back into your life, it can only be back into your life if it is also to some extent matured like you have matured. And I'm also hearing there's something really powerful about you collaborating with people or situations where maybe they think a little bit differently to you. Maybe they are, I don't know, they're not the usual type that you would maybe collaborate with in some way, but there's something powerful about sort of different energies coming together. And I'm really getting that because in this picture here, on this actual deck, can you see there's like a pentacle there? And then there's like wands there. Now, pentacles are like earth, wands are like fire. Now, in astrology, and we're talking like traditional astrology, they're not seen as energies that particularly communicate easily with each other. Like earth is supposed to be really good with water, and fire is supposed to be really good with air. But earth and fire are not necessarily, they're supposed to have intense conversations with each other. But it's actually just showing me that I think, again, because your mind's more open, your mind's even more flexible than usual, but at the same time you're becoming very quickly astute about what's going on, and you are seeing into illusions. I feel like on some level it's therefore really powerful for you to work with energy that usually you wouldn't have worked with, or people you usually wouldn't have worked with, or situations you usually wouldn't have worked with, because it's just showing me there's something really powerful about doing this in some way, and that the reason why that you can also do this now is because of this whole maturation of you and your own energy, and therefore it's opening up the possibilities of who and how you can collaborate in a way that it's never been like that before. So I do feel like that is really cool. Right, so now we will definitely go on to pile number 1. So hi guys, this is for all of you that chose message number 1 for what the Pisces archetype wants to tell you at this moment in time to do with 2021. We will put the crystal to the side because we will channel that in the extended. So I'm just going to put that there. I love that colour. And we will go straight into here. So what do your Akashic Records want to tell you guys about 2021? Okay, so I'm getting this real energy about you guys building towards something, and it feels like as well, I do really feel like I want to say sort of some fated and destiny type of scenarios and situations will happen to you in 2021. This could be like meeting people that are highly significant in your life. This could also be, and I'm also hearing they'll stay in your life long term. And again, this sort of feels like if you have been missing either a person or some type of information or some type of understanding or some type of opportunity previously in your life, I feel like that is all going to start coming in for you in 2021. And I really feel like then what happens in 2022 when Jupiter moves into the sign of Pisces, that's when you really get epic expansion. But I feel like there really are some key players, some key opportunities that the universe is like lining up for you guys in 2021. And I actually feel like a lot of you will probably really feel like you know what I'm talking about, because I get this feeling that you will already have you will already have awareness of these things kind of coming. And I'm actually hearing for quite a lot of you, I feel like your dreams will be quite active and letting you know what is kind of heading your way. So really pay attention to your dreams. I'm also hearing that particularly around eclipses, really pay attention to your dreams then, because I think they'll get highlighted even more. But also whenever you have a significant moon cycle, and it'll be different for all of you depending on your personal astrology, I do once again really feel like your dreams are going to be telling you quite a lot, and they'll be this is really, really cool. And actually this just happened to me recently, almost for the first time I was consciously aware of. I really feel like some of you guys will be having dreams where, and this is so amazing, it's basically where you will play scenarios out, you will play out past scenarios where you didn't have positive experiences, but in your dreams you'll be playing them out with positive experiences, and in doing so your nervous system actually believes that it's had these positive experiences to do with the past. And in this way you're kind of like very unconsciously reprogramming your nervous system and almost like having neuroplasticity, so growing new neurons to do with firing off these like pathways to do with happy experiences in your dream time, which previously in physical reality in the past you have maybe not had positive experiences. Does that kind of make sense? So essentially your dream time will at many points be quite literally reprogramming your mind and your nervous system so that past events that were painful now somehow have memories of positive experiences, because in your dreams they get played out in a completely different way, which is actually a positive way. And in doing that, it's already getting your energy field, your subconscious, unconscious and conscious mind completely ready to then have these actual positive experiences in your life going forward. And I massively see something like that is going to be happening for you guys, which is really, really exciting. So really, really pay attention to your dreams. And if you guys maybe are not aware that you're aware of your dreams, I feel like as well, this is something else that might build up quite a bit in 2021, and you'll start to become more aware of that, because it will be very, very powerful having Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 12th house. And again, particularly for you guys which do have some Aquarius energy with either, let's say Mercury, Mars or Venus, I do really think you people will definitely be on point with your dreams, and they really will be communicating with you. I don't think it's going to be like all of the time, but so therefore when it does happen, definitely pay attention. I'm getting that is really, really important. And it really does, this is the thing, it really does feel like you're being prepared. I do feel like that, you know, during 2021 or whenever you listen to these videos, it's like you're being prepared for very new, different opportunities coming into your life. And because they are so different to what you're used to, it's kind of like your dream time has to prepare you to even be able to be open to receive these new opportunities, because they're so very different from the past. But I'm also hearing these are all things that you really, really want as well. It's like goals or dreams or ambitions that you have had, and I feel like you've had them for a very long time and you've been working on them for a very long time. So I love the sound of that. Now let's just see. Oh, nice. I'm being shown. So we read all of these the right way up. One second, sorry, because being shown like a loop thing. Okay. I do really feel, I don't know, I just feel like this energy is really going to be working for you in 2021 in multiple different ways, Pisces. Again, because although Aquarius is an air sign and obviously you're a water sign, so in traditional astrology they don't necessarily say that they are very cohesive with each other. The thing is, Pisces and Aquarius, you're right next to each other, you're neighbours, right? So, and you've been neighbours forever, so even if you don't innately understand each other, you kind of do, because you've spent so much time right next to each other. You know what I mean? It's kind of that kind of energy. And again, I feel like this is going to be really, really supportive with all of this new Aquarius energy that's coming in. Plus Aquarius energy very much can do things to do with cosmic consciousness, Akashic Records, intuition in a different way to Pisces. But again, Pisces, you can still do this as well. You have a very, again, collective consciousness you feel into, like Akashic Records you feel into, your intuition you feel into. It's just a slightly different. Let's say if Aquarius was the masculine way of all of this, yours, Pisces, is the feminine way of this. So you actually kind of, in a really unconventional way, in terms of not what traditional astrology would say, but with this new energy that's coming in, it's just going to be really, really flattering for you and for Aquarius, and also for, you know, the symbiosis, I feel, of both of these energies. But anyway, let's just see what you have. Okay, so we have 5 of Stones, which is 5 of Pentacles. Then we have 2 of Stones, which is 2 of Pentacles. Then we have 10 of Matches. 10 of Matches is 10 of Wands. Again, I'm getting this whole, it was funny because I felt like I was getting an image on this one of like climbing a mountain, and that's why I felt like your goals and things were coming in. And again, this to me looks like the achievement of a goal in this kind of deck. Anyway, then we have, oh nice, I've not seen this one before, Knight of Stones. So this is Knight of Pentacles. Again, this is telling me, I do really feel you've been working on something for a very, very long time. And I think it's taken a long time to come to fruition, but this is the start of all of those things coming to fruition. Then we have 8 of Wands. And again, you know how I was saying there's this cohesiveness I feel between Pisces and Aquarius in 2021. For the one card that all of the Aquarius energy got, they actually got this card, the 8 of Matches. And to me, this is just telling me again that there's some kind of on a 3D reality, you probably wouldn't think that there was this real connection between the Pisces and the Aquarius, but I'm hearing like on the 5D reality, there is so much interrelatedness and connectedness between Pisces and Aquarius. And I just feel again like there was going to be a lot of movement for Aquarius, and I do sort of feel like there'll be a lot of movement for you guys as well, because obviously that's the 8 of Wands. And then here we have the 3 of Stones. So again, you know this thing I was talking about, collaboration. I do really feel like collaboration is something really important. And again, you know how I talked about, you know, different people or different situations, or people you wouldn't really usually hang out with, or people you wouldn't necessarily usually trust or work with or have time for or respect, or fill in the blank what it might be. I really feel like that's something for you to consider to do very differently in 2021, because again, you know, each of these hands here, I don't know if you can see it, they're all like providing a different resource, as it were. Here's a star, I don't know, here's some, I don't know, they're just basically, I can't tell you what all of them are, but they're all contributing something different, but they're all focusing on the same goal. And I do think that's just something for you to really, really consider. And again, it's that whole thing I'm hearing about something old returning in a new way, which is going to set up a different rhythm. And also I'm hearing a different relationship and a different connection and a different communication with whatever this thing is from the past, and how it plays into your present or into your future whenever it comes in. And I do think that is really important. So again, Pisces, I'm hearing this thing about being open-minded. I know that you guys are anyway, but I'm also hearing it's this thing about, I really feel like this, particularly for this group, I do really feel like a lot of maturation, like I did say, you know, like earlier on, but I really feel it in this group. And I sort of really feel like a lot of naivety that you guys might have had, or even innocence, it's not that you've lost any of these things, because they're still an integral part of your energy system, but it's that you've now understood when they become an asset and when they can become a weakness. And because you have that almost like full perspective of what's possible with these energy frequencies of innocence and naivety, you then know how to apply them to give you leverage, and you also know when to be mindful of them to make sure you don't fall into booby traps. And again, I'm hearing that this means that you can now start to open up, Pisces, to many different opportunities and people that before might have been closed off to, or before you might have interacted with these opportunities or people in a way that felt like it hurt or damaged you in some way, or took something away from you, or kind of like put you into a victim state or did something that wasn't fair. I feel like now you can go into all of these different situations and you will know exactly how to apply yourself so that you basically so that you can basically get what it is that you want and need out of the situations. And like, again, I'm just keep hearing it's by understanding when innocence and naivety are powerful and an asset, and when innocence and naivety actually become a burden and a handicap. And I really feel like you guys are really, really getting that. And again, I'm also really hearing that this is something that I feel is also playing off for you guys to do with your intuition. To be honest, this is all just channeling out without me even looking at the cards. I have to be honest with you here. It's just like bluff. And again, I think you have to be open to that. So I don't know why, but I'm getting this concept, and it must be important because my, the Akashic Records are saying to tell you that, sometimes saying like pulling out the cards, because we're in the Akashic Records, yeah, we can read the cards, but also just pulling out the cards with the intention activates the energy to come out of the Akashic Records, and then you'll just be downloading whatever needs to come out of the Akashic Records, whether it looks like what the spread is saying or not. It's what needs to come out. And it's kind of, again, that kind of like non-linear abstract that you can't always explain. It can't be explained scientifically, but it is just something that can work and that really will work for you guys. So just consider that type of concept. I think that's something that you guys will naturally get anyway, but I really feel like you can start to use it even more, particularly as Neptune starts to move into Pisces, into degrees that it's never been at yet while you've been alive, or to be honest, all of humanity right now has been alive. So there's this real progression with how you're going to start to understand like non-linear, abstract, holistic things, and you're going to be able to leverage it. So I don't really know where that came from, but anyway, it did. I do also want to say that I do feel like this with the Knight of Stones. I do feel like it's important that you are persistent about something. So because we've got your records open, just take a couple of breaths. And I just want you to ask yourself, what is it you need to make sure you're persistent about in 2021? And trust whatever comes in. Now, what I also am being told to tell you is whatever came up as you need to be consistent about, I'm hearing that there might be a few hoops that you have to jump over. Some hurdles that you just need to give a little bit more oomph to kind of like clear the hurdle. And so it's just being mindful about that. And that's why you need to know that this is where you need to be persistent, so that when some of these scenarios occur, they won't demotivate you or throw you off. You'll just know that this is the moment to kind of, I'm hearing, show up even more. But I'm also hearing whatever this area was that you were told that you need to, be persistent about. I'm hearing that you've been training for this for a long period of time, and that you are going to win the prize to do with it. As long as you take part, you're going to win the prize to do with it. And obviously I mean that on like a metaphorical way, but then you can apply that to what's going off with you. And I actually feel like you're going to enjoy it. I'm also hearing that whatever this is to do with, you are actually going to enjoy the little bit of the challenge to do with whatever it is. It's actually going to be a healthy type of challenge. And again, I'm hearing that it's going to allow you on some level to do what we talked about, know when to apply innocence and naivety as a strength, and when to make sure that you don't fall into a booby trap with those. I don't know why this keeps coming up quite strong for this part, but it really, really does. And I do feel like it means things in different ways for you. So it could be to do with collaborations. It could be, work collaborations, career collaborations. It could be relationship collaborations. It could even be family collaborations. I feel like a lot of you are going to be starting to understand healthy boundaries, like when to have a boundary, when to not have a boundary. And this is this other thing. Gosh, quite a few things are coming through. I am hearing that there has been something from the past that has what would I say? Okay, the image is this. I'm kind of like seeing, and this is metaphorical, but I'm seeing the image of like a dog who's been mistreated. and he has some new owners, and it just takes him a bit of time to trust these new owners just because he's been mistreated before. I feel like this is like you guys. There's somewhere where you feel life has mistreated you, a situation has mistreated you, a person has mistreated you, and it's definitely made you either feel a bit fearful or a bit protective. But either way, you're not totally trusting. And this is the really important thing. You're not fully open the way you guys Pisces are usually open. So whatever area of this your life, whatever area of your life this is to do with, feel into now, see what the Akashic Records like flags up for you to be in this situation. And just know this is somewhere where you're still not quite fully open the way that you can be. But what I'm hearing is this is, again, one of these things that you will be overcoming in 2021. And again, like we channeled with your astrology, these sort of mini healing crises are actually going to happen so much easier and faster. And pay attention with your dreams to do with these areas as well. I feel like you might know when something's coming up to do with them, or also your dreams will tell you where you're at to do with whatever area of this life is. By paying attention to what's happening in your dreams. Just be mindful that when one way how you can just psychologically know where you're at to do with your dreams is some dreams can be very much essentially your subconscious, unconscious mind communicating to you. So you know how we channeled in the beginning that you might be having some dreams where essentially you, what we were saying, where you start to have positive experiences about memories that previously have been very painful. So it's kind of like changing your memory bank, as it were, through the dream time. It's like that would be a message that your subconscious and unconscious mind are actually now ready and happy to do with the past. And more than that, they are already actively thinking about how they can create this happiness in whatever way it is in your life. And so, yeah, just be mindful that that means, you know, you're in a really good place to do it. Equally, if you're having some dreams where there's maybe some distress going on to do with certain situations, people or experiences, that just tells you that your subconscious and your unconscious mind are not quite happy with something yet. And that might be just something for you to just be mindful of, just pay attention to, and see how you feel, or see what pans out during the next days or weeks after that dream to do with those scenarios. And again, this is where you can fine tune your intuition to really kind of give you some additional insight on what's going off. But I do really feel like this, to me, with the Five of Stones, which is obviously the Five of Pentacles in normal tarot, this always reminds me of like letting go of like painful memories of the past or painful situations, particularly where you feel, I think it's where you kind of feel like things have just not been working out. And I know you often say it's like feeling left out in the cold, but I actually feel like this is you feeling left out in the cold to do with like almost something that you feel like the universe would have supported you more, or something like that. And I feel like maybe for some of you, it's kind of felt like maybe the universe didn't come through for you in some kind of way. But I really do feel like I'm hearing that again, this was just a maturation process. And it was just kind of part of the process and the path to get you to the vibration or the space or the consciousness that you needed to then be able to release whatever it is that's making you not in alignment to what it is that you want. And again, I'm really hearing that your dreams will very much tell you where you are at with your manifestating of things, because your great dreams will really tell you where your subconscious and unconscious mind is at. So 100% pay attention to that. Again, I'm also being shown that I do think, and I don't think I started saying it, we didn't finish it, there is this thing about some painful collaborations in the past where you've collaborated either romantically or work-wise or business-wise or creative project-wise, whatever it is, and it's not really kind of worked out for some reason or other. Again, I'm hearing that these experiences have been experiences to really help fine-tune your intuition, and again, fine-tune your understanding of innocence and naivety, and when to use it and when to be mindful of it. And again, you know, this whole thing about that I got of the image of, what was that animal that I saw? Oh, the cat. And I kind of got this cunning thing. It's kind of like cats can be very, very perceptive. And actually, I often think of cats as being a kind of a Pisces type of energy because they're very kind of mystical. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they can see things in the other dimensions 100%. So they have this almost exactly sixth sense like you guys do. But the interesting thing about the cat is they're not innocent and they're not naive. They're very, very savvy. They're very kind of street smart. And I feel like any of these experiences that you've had in the past which haven't been positive for you, actually, your Akashic Records are saying it's about you seeing them as actually having, what I would say, having almost been educating you to fine tune this ability that you really have so that you can really make it work for you in the future. But in order to really fine tune an ability, it's almost like you have to experience a range of different situations and scenarios to do with whatever this is, because essentially it's how you gain experience and wisdom is through almost like these different scenarios. And I do really feel like this is something that's really happened a lot for this pile in the past, and going forward it therefore means that you're in this like really I don't know, almost like positive situation to kind of really, really manifest from, because with this Two of Stones, which would usually be Two of Pentacles, this doesn't look like indecision on any level to me, like Two of Pentacles can, like juggling. This just feels like a real solid manifestation. And it feels like once you've manifested one thing, something else is very, very close behind to also manifesting. So let's just say if you're trying to manifest, let me just use the ones that lots of people want to know about, love and money. Let's say you're wanting to manifest a relationship, and then by the time you do manifest the relationship, there's also this other big manifestation that's really close to coming through for you to do with some kind of money goal or career goal. And obviously it could be vice versa, and they're just examples, but it really just feels like it's almost like I'm hearing like a jet stream of flow once it gets going for you in 2021. Now there could be a bit of confusion just generally January, February, maybe a little bit into March. But again, I feel like this is something where as long as you stay in alignment with you and what you know and what you can see and all of those things that we've talked about, and trust yourself and trust your dreams, this won't be a problem for you. And then afterwards, once we start to get April, May, June, July, this is when things will speed up. So I just feel like this is really, really positive for you guys. And that came out really, really, really quick. And it does really feel to me like I just need to say this one thing and then it will make sense at some point when it happens. There might be something that happens at some point in 2021 where you feel like, well, that's it, it's a dead end or something like that. But I'm hearing again, it's really not. It's a pause, and it's going to come back through in another channel, in another way, in a better way. And I don't know why I needed to say that, but I just was told I really needed to say that. Now, let me just get a couple more cards. So I'm hearing that we don't read these in reverse, we read them all upright. Oh wow, so we're having the Hierophant. Okay, so again, this is this feeling I got here about something very destined, something almost like fated and destined is coming, and it's something that's not been able to come through to you before because you haven't quite been at that point, but now from 2021 onwards, you're going to be at that point and it can really start to come in for you. Again, just pay attention to your dreams. And then we have Five of Wands here. I think there might actually just be, I'm guessing there might be a little bit of conflict to letting in these new scenarios and situations. And I was sort of picking this up with the dreams, which is why you are getting dreams to prepare you. Because whatever it is that you do have from the past, which is, like I said, made you, and it's many different things for all of you, but the overall effect that it's had on all of you, it's made you not as open as you usually would be in some type of way. And obviously how you've all closed down is slightly different, but the point is, it's just made you not as open as you would usually be. I'm also hearing for some of you, I'm hearing for like 15% of you, this is also a past life experience, okay? And then because you're super sensitive, it's had more of an impact on you guys during this lifetime, just because of Pisces' amazing interconnectivity with all of consciousness and cosmos, etc. But anyway, I'm hearing that, you know, there is just something here that does give you guys a little bit of fear or a bit of conflict or a little bit of anxiety about stepping into this new destined position for something that you really want. So whether that is the relationship, being a parent, having your own business, putting yourself out there in the world with your passion, I don't know, it could be any type of thing, right? I do feel like there is a little bit of hesitation at the time if you come to this reading, or at some point close to this reading, there is some hesitation to receive him, because with this card here, I can really see that this person is almost like, you can see they're kind of closing off their heart chakra. In fact, they're not even closing it off, it looks like they're literally protecting it. And again, it's this energy I picked up on about you guys not being completely open about something. And that's just something that will need to shift for all of these opportunities to come in. Let me just get a couple, let's get some more cards. And I'm also hearing that if you guys are really honest with yourself, you'll probably know what this is. And I do really feel it's something that you do really want. It's something you really, really want to experience in this lifetime. And it's this thing where I channeled in the beginning, where it's almost like this person, opportunity or situation, although you've really wanted it, it's sort of never really been available to you before. But now it is going to become available, but then it's just making sure that you are totally open to it, because I do really feel like whatever this is, it is really quite destined in some way. It really, really is. And I do feel as well, one thing I'm hearing is you guys can trust yourself to open up more, because you are not, you will still have this amazing innocent and naive energy, but you're also very savvy now, remember. You're that sixth sense cat that's smart, that's streetwise, so you will know when you can open up. And I do think sometimes previously you guys might have, gosh, well, I get it, right? It can be so full on to feel so much. Oh my God, and just feel more than just this lifetime, right? And sometimes you might not even realize you're feeling more than just this lifetime. And sometimes you probably won't even realize when you're feeling your energy or if it's somebody else's energy. And I do know that this is like, I totally get this, because I'm like a Pisces sun. And obviously being really psychic and all of these things, it's definitely been a process of understanding what is my energy and what is something else's energy, someone else's energy, even a different timeline energy, right? So I understand there is sometimes it's so overwhelming on a feeling level. So to open your heart up fully to something that you want so much in this lifetime, you know, comes with so many feelings anyway. So to open up to it, oh my God, that's even more feelings. Can I handle this, basically? But I'm really, really hearing that you absolutely can. And part of Neptune going like further into the degrees, like this energy of Neptune maturing more within you and your birth chart, means that you can handle your incredible sensitivities and feelings and intuition, and you can do this and be safe with fully opening up to what it is that you really, really do want. But anyway, let's just that just sort of like came out, so without trying, but let's just see what else is going on here. Oh, I'm just getting a message actually. 1 second. I just need a card to write on. There we go. So I've done so many of these, I've run out of paper, but 1 second. Okay. Okay, these become super cryptic, but it's a really great way, I'm told, for us to access deeper into the Akashic Records, because like I've said to you, the Akashic Records is non-linear, etc. We'll go into this in the extended and we'll pull additional cards out to find what's going on, but we just got this channeled. The sword will show you have to choose the door with the book. I've got no friggin' idea what these are, but obviously we'll go into that later. I do really feel excited for you guys though. It feels, I just really can feel like something is going to be really manifesting for you. Something that I just feel like on a soul level, you've worked really, really hard for. And it kind of feels like you have, almost like many lifetimes of trying to work this through, basically. And now, with this real shift of energy going into all of this Aquarius energy, with Jupiter really starting to move into your sign of Pisces, it means it can really, really manifest, is what I'm hearing. Okay, right, let's see what we have. So we have Lady of the Beasts, relationship. I love these cards. So for a lot of you, this already makes me think it probably is a relationship type of thing, or it's something that's based on a relationship. Then we have solar plexus chakra. Then we have Earth School. And it says here, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. That's reminds me of very Sagittarius, 9th house energy. Then we have here, insight. We have here, oh my God, I love the shark. The shark. This came up in a different deck for another sign. I can't remember where it was, but the shark is, I honestly can say, one of the most powerful manifesting power animals that you can possibly have. And again, this really tells me, and again, solar plexus, this is all very much about manifesting, but obviously we're going to go into this in detail. Then we have this one here, Columba, message of peace and hope. And then we have here, I can't say that word, but basically it says protection, preservation and defense. And how funny, that's literally right next to this card here, where we were talking about this protection thing that's sort of going off, that is slightly keeping you away from what it is that you're wanting to manifest. But what we'll do is we'll now take this over into the extended reading. We'll go into all of these, these additional cards that have come out. We'll pull additional cards for the message here. We will channel your crystal, and also we'll just pull a message from the I Ching, and I'll read it out from the book so you can just get your personal message from this amazing like Chinese oracle, which I totally love. But this is definitely, if you want to know where this reading is heading, it's totally heading to do with, it does feel like some type of relationship energy for sure. Very, very collaborative energy, and it absolutely feels like something you're really wanting to manifest. But there is something to look at to do with almost like what's meaning that you're not quite so open, and what to do about it and how to move forward with that. So we will look into all of that. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. I really enjoyed reading for you so far. You can buy the extended on my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I will leave the links below. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Abigail Grace Psychic, and in fact I'm on other social medias. I'm always Abigail Grace Psychic, so you can find me there, because there are new social medias popping up and my guides have told me to get on them because they're going to be the way of the future. So yeah, that's just another little tip there if it's relevant to any of you. And then you can also find me on my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I post lots of different insights about basically how you can fine-tune your own like almost psychic understanding. So yeah, it would be great for you to follow me over on there as well. But really enjoyed reading for you, and I'm really excited to see where this is all going. So particularly with the shark, I friggin' love this shark. Honestly, I cannot tell you how much I love this power animal. I've had such the most incredible experience with it. That was actually involving a dream, where the dream told me exactly what to say, and then I said this exact thing in this meeting, and then basically it got me a lot of money super quickly when they were threatening to sack me. It turned the whole thing around. It was so powerful, I can't describe it to you. So I feel again like it's that thing, turning things around, things from the past coming back but in a new way. I do really feel like this energy is so relevant to this pile. But cool, I'll hopefully see you extended. If not, also come back to this channel anytime in 2021. Use your intuition to guide you which zodiac sign has the answer that you most need to hear right now, and I'm sure you'll find it will be powerful because all of these messages have been so very different. Cool, speak to you guys soon. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. Hi guys, so this is message number 2 for Pisces, what your Akashic Records wants to tell you in 2021, or anybody who randomly chose this. So we'll go into the crystal in the extended reading and we'll channel it there, so I'm just going to put this here. First of all, we'll just go right into your stone. I have to admit, almost, and this does happen sometimes, before I even came in, my guides are like boom with some of the messages. And basically it's this kind of thing where it's really important that you guys are really trusting yourself and trusting yourself enough to follow through with what you know is right for you. And I'm hearing that it's not just about your intuition, it's also you've had a set of experiences in this lifetime, which has meant that you've accumulated wisdom to do with these experiences. And that wisdom is also something that is also guiding you and helping you make your next choices. So the wisdom that you've accumulated through the experiences that you've had, along with your own intuitive psychic senses, sixth sense, these will all be really guiding you and giving you, I think, very clear messages about what to do and what not to do in 2021, or what's for your highest good, or what's the best way to move forward, or the best opportunity, or what are the booby traps to avoid. I feel like these sort of information will be coming in strong for you in 2021, really strong in fact. But I think where there may be some point of tension or some intensity is because I feel like sometimes it will be hard to follow through with what it is your intuition is telling you and what your own experience is telling you to do because of outside influence. And I feel like for some of you this will be family outside influence, for some of you it could be an industry or a community that is an outside influence, and for some of you it could even be much bigger, let's say political type of influences, whatever it might be. And I just really feel like whichever one you fall into as being the thing that's going to be influencing you in 2021, it's really about really trying to stay true to what you totally know is right for you. And like I say, this isn't just going to be as straightforward as it's just your intuition. It's also going to be the experiences that you've had in this lifetime where you've developed, like I say, this wisdom, and you can apply this wisdom to situations to then know what is the best way to go forward. Only the thing is, not everybody will have had the same experiences as you, so they will have different wisdom to you. And it's about understanding when to follow your wisdom and actually when to listen to the wisdom of somebody else. And that's something that's going to be, I think, something you'll be working with on and off throughout 2021. And obviously there will, for a lot of you, there'll be something about how your primary caregivers were with you when you were growing up. Like, were they trusting of you? Were they non-trusting of you? Did they allow you to make your own decisions going forward? Did they tell you what to do with your decisions going forward? I don't know, there's all of this, there's many different things that are coming in, and I suppose it's almost got a tiny bit of a codependency kind of vibe with it as well, from that kind of childhood type past. or enmeshment or something like that, or entanglement at the very least. But yeah, this is the sort of thing on a more practical scale that I think is going to happen. And so the Akashic Records is really kind of saying this: trust your intuition, and definitely trust your intuition when it's backed up through personal experience, which has then meant it's now wisdom for you. And then if you're not sure, if you're still not sure, or if there's a lot of outside influence that is trying to convince you to do something different, then what your Akashic Records is saying is look back at your past patterns, really like analyze in a very logical, linear, like mental type of way, like using your mind, look at your patterns and work out, you know, what does my past history of patterns, what does it tell me? What is it actually showing? Like if you were to put, and it's not that you don't need to do this, you do not need to justify yourself, and you don't need to put up an argument for why you should do something, but if you are in a place of indecision and somebody's trying to pull you into their direction over what you think is right for you, it could be really good that you just have a process like in your own mind, or even with a friend, where you just like go very practical and linear about, no, wait a minute, so let me just see, but what do my past patterns show me is the pattern for me? So from my past patterns, what would the prediction of that pattern on a very kind of like logarithmic kind of way, what would the logarithm of my past patterns tell me will happen in the future? If I don't want that, how would I then change this pattern and therefore change the logarithm so I get a different outcome, which is something that I want? And I do think that this won't always be straightforward, because I can just see that it's just going to be stimulating something within you guys that is, I feel like a lot of you guys will be very trusting, and you will go with the flow, and you will follow your own intuition. So when this starts to occur, or if it's already occurring now, I just think it will be a bit like it will be a bit unsettling, emotionally unsettling at times, when somebody that you care about or respect or whatever it might be, or group or a party or whatever it is, comes in and sort of says something very different to what intuitively you feel and you know on a deep level. It will be a bit unsettling while you like work throughout how you're going to respond to that. Are you going to keep with what you feel and think, or are you going to go in this other direction of somebody else or something else? And I do just feel like that will come up for some of you in 2021. However, I do also feel like this will be something that you can resolve this really quickly. I don't know why, but I just feel like any sort of tensions of healing crises, or like psychological crises or pattern crises, however you want to call it, I do feel like you'll be able to work through these really easily and quickly, because like we've said as well about, I just feel like you having Jupiter and Saturn in this 12th house, your own house, is really going to be enhancing this whole kind of intimate communication with the deeper aspects of yourself, which are usually hidden and concealed. Now they'll be very open to you, and it'll be very obvious to you, these deeper dynamics that are running throughout your own psychology. And because of that, you will actually be able to work through them pretty quickly, because you won't be going into fog, is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like you'll be going into, it's like I'm seeing the vision of a maze, you know, like when you go into a maze. And that can be really confusing. But before you go into the maze, somebody comes and gives somebody a map of the maze. And so then all you have to do is just read the map and trust the map will take you out of the maze, and then you've got it. What I'm trying to say is something that would usually be confusing isn't going to be confusing, because you already have all the tools and the resources available for you to work through it in a very easy, logical, practical way. And I do also feel for a lot of you, it will be conversations with friends, or it'll be a conversation with somebody that knows you well that will also help you navigate this process. So now I'm kind of seeing like rally car drivers, you know, somebody's reading the map and somebody's driving. I'm getting that image of how you'll go through these points of like, well, do I follow my intuition and my personal experience, or do I follow what this other person of authority is saying to me on some level? And I think that that's something that you guys will be working with for sure. But it feels like, I don't know, I feel like there's something very powerful when you make the choice to do whatever it is you're going to do. I'm hearing that it will be really quite a big game changer, but it will kind of be a process. And this is almost giving me hiccups. Sorry. So you know, hiccups are often caused by an irritated diaphragm, and obviously diaphragm's this thing about, it's how we breathe, it's how we bring our life force energy in. So I feel like, you know, ask yourself what's actually giving you more energy, more vitality, and what's actually taking your energy and your vitality away from you, and also see if that helps to give you a better understanding of which is the best path to go through, basically. But now let us have a look. And I'm actually being shown it as train tracks. So I feel like you're headed in a very specific direction, and it does feel like this is something that you really want to achieve or you want to experience or whatever. And it kind of feels like somebody or something is in tandem with you as well. So again, this just makes me feel like, you know, this is like, say like, I don't know, there's you and there's a rally car driver, or, you know, there's you going into the maze and then somebody's just coming and giving you a map. It feels very, very supportive, very kind of collaborative. Like I kind of feel like somebody's always just going to come in at the right moment to help give you the insight and the guidance that you need, which is really awesome. I love this. So we start your reading with the Queen of Matches, which is the Queen of Wands. And so interesting, you know how I've said I really feel like there's going to be somebody side by side with you guys, or somebody's always going to be there at just the right moment. And there's two wolves here, and it both looks like they're working towards whatever is this kind of thing here. I don't know if you can see that. And you know, wolves really have this energy of the lone wolf, but they also love to be in the pack as well. And I do think there's something about that that's really significant as well, like understanding your own identity as a sovereign being, but then also understanding how your identity and your sovereignty also plays out into a pack, into a group, into a team, and equally how you also collaborate with all the other people in your team who are also their own independent sovereignty in their own right. However, they've come together in a kind of collaborative space with you, etc., etc. And I think you could go on that on the smaller, like the micro level with, like, say you and your working environment or your family or your friendships or whatever, but then also it's also relevant on the bigger scale, like the macro level. So obviously like the earth and the world and what's going on in all the different countries and all of this kind of thing. So you guys kind of feel like, I really do feel what you're going to be seeing on the outer world, let's say politically and I don't know, and just the current, I don't know, the current news, let's say, that's going on, like in a country and also globally. I do feel like in some way it's going to be giving you a reflection of things that are going off in your own life as well, in a way that you can kind of like, I suppose how the collective is going to be feeling at certain moments in 2021, I think will be highly significant to you. Not that you will necessarily be going in the same sort of energy and pathway as the collective consciousness, but I don't know, when something gets heightened for the collective consciousness with what happens in 2021, like on a more global level, I also feel like there'll be something that's getting heightened in your own personal level. It's that kind of like reflection that I'm kind of seeing. Oh wow, powerful. I actually really like this death card. So this is death. So this is, funny enough, the words that I'm hearing is actually resurrection. I'm actually hearing a resurrection with that, but we'll go into it in more detail. So 2 of matches. Message 1 also had 2 of matches. And I think you guys had that in the very beginning of your reading as well, didn't you? For like the one card. Oh, wow. The Tower. So then we have the Tower right under the death card. So there's some big shifts happening for this pile, definitely, in 2021. And then we have Queen of Stones, which is Queen of Pentacles. And then we have 7 of Blades, which is 7 of Swords. Okay, so just give me a minute, just while I'm going to feel into all of this and see exactly what's going on. Okay, so I think a couple of things are going to be, because I'm really seeing this as a resurrection, I think a couple of scenarios, situations and people, different for all of you, will be really coming back into your life in 2021. And I do feel like they're going to be coming, in whatever way they come in, I feel like they're going to be really collaborative, and they're going to be nurturing and supportive. Because with all of these three cards here, Queen of Wands, Two of Wands, and Queen of Pentacles, these are just ultimately quite feminine energies, but they're also very supportive, very nurturing. And I just really get this feeling of like a real collaboration. But I do feel like some of these things might come back, like whatever is this card. Like I say, it could be, you'll have to intuitively feel into you because it's going to be different for all of you. I'm just going to tell you the energy. This could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be an event. It could just also think of it like we talked about patterns earlier here. This could also just be a pattern that kind of resurfaces itself. But however this person, the pattern, the situation, the event resurfaces in your life, I do really feel like, number one, I feel like it might be quite sudden and quite shocking and kind of out of nowhere on some level. I do think because it's potentially quite shocking and sudden, you might have some reservations about it, because it almost occurs so quickly. You haven't had time to kind of like process the initiation of this resurrection of whatever it is. So therefore when it occurs, it's just kind of like bang, boom, straight in your face, and you know, it puts you in more of a reactive type of space initially, and that will make you feel a little bit cautious. I'm getting this feeling that you'll have a little bit of caution. You'll have some caution for some reason. I know the Seven of Swords can often be seen as the deception card, but interestingly, I'm not getting anything here that you can't trust whatever the resurrection of whatever this is. But I do feel like you might feel like this, I don't know, person, situation, event, opportunity is, you maybe feel like you have to be cautious of it. Like you're not totally sure how you feel about it. But I'm also hearing that this is also because you might be thinking that you haven't fully changed yet, or you might be thinking it's a reoccurrence of a, let's say, heavy pattern or something that didn't work in the past. And because it didn't work in the past, I think you might feel like it won't work again. Well, let's definitely pull some cards out, because I can really feel the confusion that's going to come up when this occurs, because I can even feel it like feeling into these cards. So we're definitely, let's just get some more on that right now, to be honest. I do think as well it's because there's you know, because it's a new collaboration. It's a new collaboration, but through like an old kind of avenue, or it's a new collaboration through an old pattern, or it's an old collaboration through a new pattern. It's got that type of energy. It's very sort of like yin and yang, like and also a mixture. It's a real mixture. Just give me 1 second, because this is definitely, which cards am I using? It's not actually straightforward. And again, I feel like this is why what we're channeling here. This is why you're really going to have to like trust your intuition. Let's see. Where are we going to go? I'm just going to get one actually for all of them. And I'm hearing that we do read them reversed. So let's see what we get. If they come out reversed, we read them reversed. Okay, so we have, well, that was reversed, sorry. We have the Star in reverse. And we have Two of Wands in reverse. Then we have Queen of Wands upright. That's two Queen of Wands then, because we had the Queen of Wands here, and now we've got the Queen of Wands here. Then we have Five of Wands. Interestingly, message one also had Queen of Wands and Five of Wands. Then we have the Eight of Cups. And then we have Page of Coins. Okay. Okay, so basically, the reason why this is going to be confusing, and you know, you're going to be pulled in two different directions of whether to to resurrect a certain experience or personal situation is just because I do feel like, to do with whatever this resurrection is, I don't feel like you've had either a good experience with it previously, you've not had a desired outcome from it last time, something about it has made you feel like you can't trust this situation, you can't trust this person. There's something that makes you feel almost like emotionally upset, just from the point of view of like, I think you feel it's almost like I'm getting the energy of like emotional exhaustion from it, as in it just is, I just think it's caused you potentially so many different, what you would think is trials and errors in the past, that you kind of feel so reticent about almost going anywhere close to do with this person, this situation, this event, this area of your life, this pattern in your life, whatever it might be. And I do really feel like a big part of it has got to do with something like with trust. A lot of it is to do with trust. It's to do with trust. And I feel like you've really trusted somebody or a group of people or a situation. And you know what? It's really not worked out. And I feel like this might have happened a number of times as well. So now when it comes back into your reality again, you're like thinking, oh, I just think it becomes really confusing, because you won't understand why it's come back in, because you'll be like, but why is this happening again? Because I don't even understand how I'm a vibrational match to this. This makes no sense. And what will be more confusing about it is, on some level to the outside world, it might look like it's making sense, as in it might seem like the best thing for you to do. But again, I feel like this is a situation where it's really like going to be like half of the people would tell you to go in that direction, half of the people would tell you not to go in that direction. And that further just adds to the confusion about what should you do. And again, this is where I'm coming back to this kind of energy of, I think it's really, really important to consider to yourself, you know, what does your intuition tell you? Now, what does your wisdom tell you through the experiences that you've had in the past? But then this is where I'm hearing that you just have to be really mindful. With the Star card in reversed, I'm really getting this message about, it's like this thing about, it's quite confusing, so let me just come out with what it's saying. I'm getting this thing about, just be mindful that you're not judging a past person or a past situation from a place of disempowerment. Because if you're viewing this person or this situation from a place of disempowerment, you will potentially miss what's actually going off. Because there's something about having to navigate literally the maze of what was true in the past might not be true in the future. However, what was true in the past is very likely to be true in the future. And this is kind of like essentially causing this kind of like almost not a moral dilemma, but this kind of dilemma for you about how to move forward. And so there's something about really seeing things really clearly as they are, without almost like the wounded experiences of the past. And I'm also getting this really supportive, nurturing message. And for some reason it's coming through with these two cards, the Eight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, which is life does know what you want, and it does know what you want to create. And almost I'm feeling like this person's been envisioning something. It feels to me like she's been envisioning having this lifestyle, whatever this lifestyle is here in the castle. But she doesn't feel, she feels separated from it. She kind of feels like, I feel like the word is abandoned from it. Like she's been abandoned in some way. Or maybe the past pattern with whatever this is to do with, it ended up making you feel like abandoned in some way. And I just kind of feel like, but what this is really like saying actually is the universe is like, the universe knows what it is that you really, really want. And I think the universe knows that you've actually, I feel like you've sacrificed a lot for some reason I feel like you've made yourself completely vulnerable to experience whatever this might be. Bearing in mind, metaphorically, this castle could be anything: a relationship, a person, a situation, event, a job, a career, whatever, because everybody's will all be different, right? But it feels actually like you have made yourself really, really vulnerable to whatever this is that you wanted. And even though at the time of you being vulnerable to it, it wasn't open to you, it now feels like there's something about, I'm seeing like with this duck, I don't know if you can see here, can you see she's like sitting on something, she's sitting on all of these stones. It feels like there needed to be like a gestation period, is what I'm hearing, to do with whatever it was that you were wanting to create that didn't work out in the past. And it needed to go through these stages. You needed to, for some reason, experience this thing about being vulnerable, but in some ways kind of ending up feeling abandoned through it, because it's something about you've had to work through some real kind of I'm hearing that you just really had to like process your past, and particularly your past experiences that you developed when you were really young. So the belief systems that you adopted really early on. There was something about you making yourself vulnerable to this situation or this scenario in the past, and even though it's not giving you a good outcome, it did this really important thing of ultimately showing you a lot of your limiting belief systems, and that was really, really important, and it was part of the process. But now it feels like there's been this gestation process where you've been kind of like sitting on what's happened to do with this past pattern, past person, past scenario. And by having this gestation process, and it's kind of interesting because it really kind of makes me feel about 2020, about that real incubation period that lots of us have been in, where we've had lots more isolation, way less movement. It's kind of allowed you to, it's almost like reconfigure your own hardware system to do with your belief systems. I feel like particularly to do with connection and trust. And connection and trust, not just in relationships, but in working environments, with the universe, the whole entire lot. I really think it's been important for that. And I do really feel like now, potentially, at some point in 2021, this opportunity, and now it's telling me that this resurrection is an opportunity. This opportunity is coming in, but it's still going to require you. It's going to require you to have to be vulnerable again, but be vulnerable and know that it is ultimately going to be working out in your favour. And this is why it's going to take quite a lot of this whole trusting energy we're talking about. But again, I do feel like this isn't going to be straightforward. But actually, although it could be seen as a really confusing message, and it will be confusing when it happens, it's kind of one of these things where, look, but just trust that you will get the right information to make the right decision when you most need it. It's just that this might be something that you have to experience almost as if you were in this movie yourself. So if you saw whatever this was to do with as a movie, it's like you see, if you're watching the movie, you see in a very short period of time, 2 hours, like the hero go through a whole different range of experiences and emotions, etc., until often at the end of the film there's usually some kind of like, I don't know, successful conclusion for the hero often. And at least that's the story that I'm kind of seeing for you guys here. Like, if you can kind of see whatever this is to do with as almost like a movie, and during that movie sort of kind of be open to the fact that, number one, it will have, this is a movie with a positive ending, but number two, that it's kind of like, but things will come to you at just the right moment for then you just to make the next best step. And that you can't really over plan this, but what you can do is just be open to the fact, always be open to information coming in, and know that also if you feel unsure and you don't know what to do, don't worry about it, because something will happen which will make it even more clear about what you do need to do. Essentially, I really don't feel like the universe is going to leave you to have to do some kind of blind faith movement in some kind of way, but it is meaning that you are just almost going to have to like hold your nerve, and I'm hearing kind of like go through the process and the emotion and like the emotions and all the rest of it, of the unfoldment of whatever this story and this experience is. And I think it's almost having that perspective that this is an unfoldment to do with whether it's a relationship, a person, a job, a life purpose, a big decision, whatever this is. This feels like quite a big decision that you're going to have to be making in 2021 at some point. But it really is a process of you, again, becoming vulnerable to whatever this was that happened in the past, becoming vulnerable to about it again in the future, but knowing that this time there is a positive outcome for you. I do think it's really interesting as well. We have the Queen of Wands twice here and here, and we also have the Two of Wands twice here and here. And again, like, I always think of the Queen is, I don't think the Queen of Wands is a single lady, like, no way. I feel like she is very much, well, I just feel like she is somebody who very much has the energy of, she is like, just coming like, she is like a satisfying sex life, but I feel like she is a satisfying sex life in also quite I think the word is monogamous type of way, just with like one person, and it kind of develops and it grows. Now, I'm not saying that this is to do with a relationship or a sex life, but I'm just kind of say to you that I feel like with whatever is happening, there is going to be a lot of support from you, and I do feel like there's always going to be somebody there who can go through this experience with you and guide you, and I feel like you will also be guiding them too. And I also feel like this could be different people coming in at different points in 2021 just to help you work through the next stage of this story, of this movie that you're in. And I suppose what I'm trying to say to you is you're just not going to be left alone, because I really don't believe the Queen of Wands is ever somebody that's by herself. And also, interestingly, in both of these two cards here, you can see that there's two, and there's two. So actually, it's interesting because for a queen, or for a court card in the tarot, it's not like every court card has another soul with them in that card. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this, we've got the woman and we've got the lion, and here we've got the two wolves. And I do just feel as well, like sometimes I feel like the support is actually going to be coming from somebody who is very, very similar to you. Maybe they have the same patterns as you, maybe have the same storyline as you, or maybe they're just working with the same kind of experiences with you. And I also feel like this is a soul tribe, somebody that's very similar to you. And then on this card here with the Queen of Wands, this actually feels like actually somebody coming in who's actually very different to you, completely different to you. And they actually feel like they're even in a different soul group, a different soul family. And I feel like they have different life lessons to you. So I feel what's really cool is you'll be getting support from, I suppose, multiple resources. But all of this support, I do really feel is a very like, it's a human connection thing, because I've also got a feeling that part of you working your way through all of this is very much about you opening up your vulnerability to do with human connection and human support. And this is building ultimately trust, and this trust allows you to collaborate greater with the universe and greater with your own life, because it just allows you to just open up more, share yourself more. Yeah, can really, really feel that actually. And 1 second, let's just get a couple more cards, see what's going down. But it's interesting because your spread has very much come out like a side by side, side by side. It feels like very, very even. And I do feel like that is definitely describing something about what you guys will be going through. Which are the cards? Thing is as well, I'm hearing that you do need to have faith, but it's a different type of faith, because it's actually a faith in you. It's actually a faith in you, and it's a faith in the relationships that you have built so far. And it's kind of like a trusting in the universe, in terms of like, if something does come back into your life, because this will be the interesting thing as well that I'm hearing. It won't just be a case of everything that comes back into your life from the past is something that you need to collaborate with. I feel like there will be some red herrings that come off as well, because that's part of this whole experience of you understanding essentially what is for you and what is not for you, and what you want and what you don't want, that kind of energy. So I feel like there will be some red herring experiences where things come back from the past and you have to work out, is this for me or is this not for me? But again, I feel like you'll be having lots of support from people. There'll always be somebody around that can help you make this decision. So I don't think, you know, I think that's just something to be really mindful of. But yeah, I do just feel like there definitely will be a couple of red herrings, because it almost makes me feel like it's almost like a rite of passage that you guys will be going through with this. And part of you uncovering what you want means that it's about this understanding. And I think we talked about it in the beginning with your astrology about you guys going into this more wiser part of Neptune, because it's now going further along in the Pisces archetype. So it's almost like it's aging and it's gaining more wisdom. And as you gain more wisdom, it's almost like life is just going to be pushing the boundaries of how much you trust your intuition, how much you can see deceptive moves in others, how much you can see illusions, how much you can see smokes and mirrors, but also how much you can see realities and potentials which haven't yet manifested but are in the highest good for you and others. So it's very much that kind of energy, and I do definitely think it's going to challenge you for sure, but in like a really a life enhancing way. And it really will mean that it's going to help make you become a much more powerful manifester ultimately. Because again, the Queen of Wands, and it was funny because I think message 1 also had a bit to do with the law of attraction. You know, I do always think of the Queen of Wands as a queen that really works with the law of attraction, and works with the law of attraction like super successfully. I just really feel like she does, because she has this kind of like confidence in herself. I feel like because she has confidence in herself, she has confidence in life, she has constant confidence in the universe. She also has a really high vibration that's very magnetic, because she is confident, because she's also positive and optimistic. But I also do think she's very savvy, because you often see her with a black cat in the cars, and just black cats, like all cats are savvy. Cats are street smart, and I do really think that the Queen of Wands is street smart too, because she knows what's an illusion and what isn't an illusion, like what is a mirage and what is actually a dream that can become a physical goal manifested in reality. And I feel like that is some of the kind of undertones of what you guys will be experiencing in 2021. Now I just feel like we need one more card. Which one do we need? Okay, actually, sorry, I've just got a message straight away. Let's put it down before I forget. I can feel it's right on the edge. Just got a card. Okay. So obviously, you guys that know how this works, I get some messages channeled from the Akashic Records. It allows us to go deeper into the depths of stuff, because the Akashic Records will often work in a non-linear way. So it's also great to tap into the non-linear through riddles and that sort of thing. But anyway, what the message that I've got here is, the river is deep, but the fish won't be there. So obviously we'll go into that in the extended. We'll pull additional cards in that as well, so we get a much more clearer message of what's going on. And then I'm just hearing that this needs to be right at the centre of your reading. And it's flipped out. Oh, wow. Okay, Medicine Woman. I love these cards. Oh, wow, look what it literally says. Honour your inner knowing. That's literally, I think it really is the message that is really trying to get to you. But anyway, let's just see what all the rest said. It says, okay, this is interesting. Weight of the world, boundaries, let go. It's not yours to carry. You know what, I do feel there is a big thing about boundaries as well. We'll go into obviously all of this in the extended. Oh, then we have this goddess. This is the goddess of laughter. I think the Queen of Wands is a laughing kind of queen. I think she totally has a good time. Okay, then we have Octopus, and it says here, beware. Again, that's sort of got this little bit of a message to do with the Seven of Swords here. So we'll definitely look into what this is, because it is definitely saying, like I say, I do feel like there's some kind of red herrings. There's definitely some red herrings coming in from your past, so we'll go into that as well. And then we have this card here, Emotions, Black Moonstone. That also makes me think of a bit of a protective energy too. And you know what, I just feel like we need to pull one more card. Yeah, just between these two. Here we go. And then we have here. Okay. So it says here, underdog, overlooked talent, unglorified action. And I know that that one goes there. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll now take this reading to the extended. We will obviously pull additional cards for this message here. We will also channel your stone, your crystal, and we'll go into more depth with this. Definitely where this is heading is, just so you know, we definitely need to look at something to do with boundaries, and we do need to work out, there's something that's kind of there's something important for you to be mindful of, and it might be a bit deceptive, so we'll definitely go into that and find out what that is. And then last of all, we'll also pull a message from the I Ching, and I'll just read it from the book for just a message for you to hear exactly what you need to hear in this moment, and literally we'll just channel it through that awesome Chinese oracle. So hopefully see you on the extended. You can get the extended from my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook on Abigail Grace Psychic. I am also on other YouTube, on other social medias, because I know that there's loads of new ones that are starting to pop up. So you'll always probably find me as Abigail Grace Psychic. And then you can also find me on my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. There might be some useful videos on there for you helping to fine-tune your psychic abilities, because this definitely will be enhancing for all people with strong Pisces energy, particularly as, like I say, Neptune is going into what I feel is more of an older, more wiser energy with the degrees that it's moving into in the zodiac. So I feel like this will be awesome for you guys. But anyway, I hope to see you soon, and thanks for letting me read for you. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. So hey guys, so this is for all of you that chose message number 3 for what the Akashic Records want to tell you, Pisces, about 2021 at this moment. We'll just go into the crystal in your extended reading, so I'm just going to put that there. But first of all, we're going to go straight into the channeled messages from the stone you've picked. Okay, again, I think like a lot of the Pisces, as soon as I started to set up the equipment, I started to get downloads of exactly what was being channeled. And the overriding message that came through obviously came with emotion, which obviously makes total sense for like a Pisces energy. And basically this, it works around this, which is, it's so important for you to be expressing how you're feeling fully, without needing to censor it, without needing to hide it, without needing to do anything other than just truly just almost like you know when you sometimes hear about a stream of consciousness, so some writers can write like a stream of consciousness, and it's kind of like the writer will write exactly like the thoughts that would go off in the person's head, so it's uncensored. I'm kind of like getting that energy for you guys, but to do with like your emotions. But then this is the interesting thing. I'm being told there's like subcategories within this group. There's one way, there's another way, and then there's a way with both of them, and you'll feel into which one is relevant to you. So for one pile, I'm really feeling it's just really important for you to just be actually expressing the emotion. So if you need to get upset, you need to get upset. If you need to get angry, you need to get angry. And it's just kind of really allowing it to come out fully, without it being censored in any way. And then the other side that I'm getting this is, it's actually about you guys actually, it's expressing how you feel, but not through emotions, through your words, okay? And it's really really quite specific. And so to break this, make it more so it's more obvious which group you're on, I feel like this group where they really need to express how they feel, they're the kind of Pisces energy that's got so much emotion, but it just stays like contained within them. Like they very rarely let it out, or they're only let it out in terms of only in front of certain people, or also they maybe need to hide those emotions, feel like you need to hide those emotions. And I feel like this group, obviously you might be people where in the past, you know, you were told growing up, like maybe your parents couldn't be emotionally present with you, maybe your parents didn't understand emotions, maybe your parents were emotionally repressed or whatever. So even though you come in with this energy of being really naturally an emotional being a Pisces energy, it was never nurtured in you growing up, and therefore you found a way to kind of repress it a little bit and contain it within you. And I'm really hearing that in 2021 it's really important to allow those emotions to be coming out, and the more you allow those emotions to come out, the more you'll really understand what's really going on a deeper psychological level for you, and the more inspiration you'll get from the universe, because the expression of your raw emotions is going to come with some kind of like, and this is the words I'm getting, it sounds dramatic, but we just have to go with this, right? Because it's what the Akashic Records are saying, like some kind of like message from the gods. Like while you expressing your raw emotion, you'll find that you get understandings or words or thoughts that really help you bridge the gap between what you're thinking and what you're feeling and how to move forward. And it's just really, really important. Then for the other group of you, I really feel like it's not so much about you expressing your emotions through emotion, but it's about expressing your emotion through words. I feel like, again, you were probably people that maybe grew up in an environment where either maybe like emotions were, one of your primary caregivers would get very emotional at times, either like aggressive or angry or upset or whatever, or I feel like you'd have been people where the emotion was most of the time contained, and then suddenly under certain circumstances your primary caregivers would suddenly come out with a whole load of emotion from nowhere. So you don't necessarily have this thing about being censored about the emotions that you have. You can express your emotions and you let those emotions come out, only the way that you do it isn't always in a way that is always productive for you and your environment, because in the same way that you've seen this with your primary caregivers, where they would hold their emotions and then suddenly randomly just really express a huge outburst of emotion and then go back to holding on to emotions again. So it was kind of like this, it was like an unhealthy balance. And so for some reason the Akashic Records are saying like the way for you to move with this is you do know how to express emotions and you will let your emotions come out, but now it's about actually expressing your emotion through words, because when you express your emotions through words, you're going to find that more people understand you and can connect with you. And in the same way, this other group, it's like the more that you express your emotions with emotions, the more people that can understand you and connect with you. So it's a slightly different message depending on where you're at. And then always, you know, I get this, you guys that, I don't know, listen to my videos, there's always this third way, and the third group of you of where you kind of are a mixture of both. And so it's about applying both of these kind of energies that we've just talked about. But I'm just really getting that this is so important, particularly because Saturn and Jupiter is in obviously your 12th house, which is ruled by Pisces. So this is a real emotional energy. This is a deeply in tune emotional energy as well. Like some of you guys will be here where if you really pay attention to your chakras, when somebody else is really expressing genuine emotion, and let's say it's more of a softer emotion, like it's not an aggressive angry emotion, it's a different type of emotion, it's a vulnerable emotion. I think you guys will really feel it in your heart chakra. Your heart chakra will really feel other people's, let's say, pains or sufferings, or just vulnerabilities, because it can also be beauty. It can be beauty expressions through emotion that you guys will also really feel through your heart. I just really feel like you're that kind of energy, and I do feel like some of you, you will also feel your own emotions through your heart, but I do actually think quite a lot of you won't feel your own emotions through your heart. You might feel it through a different avenue, like maybe like the solar plexus or something like that. And again, I think this is just almost like the situations that you've been in growing up. It's almost like you weren't giving an environment so that you could fully work with your emotions in a completely you weren't in an emotionally intelligent environment or an emotionally creative environment, and therefore you came up with coping strategies to work with your emotional energies, and one of them was to somehow process your own emotions through a different chakra that isn't the heart chakra. So obviously that's also, I feel, going to resonate for some of you, and there's nothing wrong with that either, but it's just like understanding how I think like these different parts of your chakra systems work, and I think it could be really useful for you. So paying attention to how you feel when other people get emotional, which part of your body you feel this in, at the same time as feel where you get emotional. You know, when you get emotional, which parts of your body is that usually from? And you probably also might find it varies. You'll probably find the solar plexus is when you're more angry, or it's that more kind of energy. And you'll probably find more when you're feeling more vulnerable and more sad in that type of way, it's probably the heart. And again, with beauty moments, with like beauty emotion, you'll probably find that comes through your heart. But I do feel like for this group, you have really well developed and well defined solar plexus chakras and heart chakras. And I really feel like 2021 is about bridging those together. So bringing that kind of like almost the power of emotion with the vulnerability of emotion, and expressing this in a new way for you personally. And for some of you, like I say, that will be expressing the actual emotion as an emotion, whereas some of you it will be more like expressing that emotion through words, or through some kind of communication that's different to the raw emotion. And again, I'm saying this because the third house, which is all about communication, you have Uranus there, and the really big transit for 2021 is Saturn square Uranus. Saturn's in your 12th house, your energy of deep emotions and being in touch with all emotions, not just your own but other people's. And the third house is obviously it's your thought process. It's how you communicate in your immediate environment. So this is why I feel like this kind of energy is going to be coming up for you guys. And what I really feel with this guy is this energy is no matter which group you're sitting on, of those subcategories that we talked about, for all of you, I really feel like there's going to be this really big thing of greater connection, and I'm hearing this word, communion with life and other people through the expression of your emotions, and also through really letting either your real vulnerabilities out through your raw emotions, or really kind of letting your unique expression of emotions through whatever modality you use that is relevant to you. So this is where for some of you it might be words speaking, for some of you it might be words writing, for some of you it might be painting, for some of you it might be sport, for some of you it might be art, for some of you it might be science, mathematics, like, because you all are so different, but you have this energy. For example, you know, Einstein was a Pisces with a Sagittarius moon, I think. And so, you know, this is the thing. I know Pisces will often be seen as this energy of the artist or whatever, but really the energy of Pisces is just like, I would say the creator, creating with the divine, very much creating with the divine in whatever way that might be. So I kind of feel like no matter what industry you're into, no matter what gifts or skills or talents you have, just understand that you almost have this communion with the universe. You have this communion with the cosmos. Like, you're so open and receptive and soft as an energy field to things far bigger than the human consciousness, the human field, the human whatever you want to call it, that you actually get these kind of divine inspirations, but they come through in a kind of, I don't know, they come through from almost like a childlike space of like wonder, I would say. it's that type of energy, and I can really feel like this isn't a sort of energy that's really going to come out more and more for you guys. And I do also feel as well that this pile as well, I think I chatted about it in the beginning astrology for Pisces at the beginning of this video, but basically where it's kind of like there's something as well I feel about this group that will have a connection with Aquarius in some way. I mean, I don't know if you've got your sun in Pisces, you might have Mercury, Venus or Mars that could be in Aquarius, because those sort of planets are never far from the sun. But I feel like there's a bit of an Aquarian vibe, but also like mixed with this Pisces vibe, and it's actually going to just accentuate your ability to get ideas and inspiration from kind of like the divine, the cosmos, God, the universe, whatever word that is relevant for you and your belief system. I just really feel like you really will be getting some, I just got a lot of inspiration from that field. But again, a lot of this comes through you also opening up even more to this new way of expressing and working with your emotions. So basically what I'm saying is, however you usually express your emotions, it's now about doing it in this other way. And then towards the second half of 2021, whenever you listen to this, 6 months after you listen to this, I'm hearing it's then about you blending together then these two different ways of working with your emotions. So how you work with them in the past and how you work with them in the beginning of 2021, and then bringing these two different ways together to create, once again, this third creative pathway. And I just feel like, I don't know, so many things are going to come out for you. And again, Jupiter moving into Pisces May, June and July of 2021, I feel like will be a powerful, pivotal point for you guys choosing this pile. Oh, so let us see what is going down. Okay. So I'm hearing that we read all of these upright. This is interesting. This very much feels like, almost like I'm getting the image of a yin and yang. So I'm getting the energy of this real kind of balancing, but also blending of opposites. And I feel like you guys are coming across as the peacemakers. Like in 2021, you know, I know there's going to be this big thing about, let's say it's sort of like, frustrations, restrictions, stuff about sovereignty, you know, having your own power, all of these type of things. But actually you guys are coming in as like, I feel like you're going to have a really balanced perspective on everything that's going off. And yeah, anyway, let's just see here. So we start off with the Page of Blades, which is the Page of Wands. This to me is this divine inspiration energy I'm talking about, because I feel like these are messages coming through the ether, is what I really feel with the Page of, oh wow, yeah. Then we have Judgment. So I really feel this is like messages coming through the ether, and the coming of kind of like some higher consciousness concepts, a little bit like Einstein and his whole E equals MC square and his ideas about relativity and quantum. I don't know, these were like ideas beyond what was known to humanity at that time, and I feel like you guys are going to start to get ideas and concepts which is beyond the normal appreciation that we as human beings have with where we're currently at in life. Oh wow, then the Moon. So this is really an energy that sits really well with you guys, because you know you're totally in tune with this kind of like cosmic divine intuition. And with the owl here, this is like really this real wisdom. But I'm also again seeing this as like seeing life and seeing situations from a very, very different point of view than maybe what you've had before. And again, I think this comes through this kind of new way of working with your emotions, because essentially Pisces, with this pile, your emotions hold real power. They hold real power for change for you and also the people around you and how you contribute in this lifetime. Because again, I do really feel like your emotions do, when they're used in a way that's healthy for you, and they actually tap you into, to the ether, to like the Akashic Records, you know, that kind of energy. And I do know, and I've said it in a few videos now, but you know, in 2021 going onwards, with all this energy going into air signs, a completely different reset. It's a completely different reset. Obviously, it will take time to fully manifest, but I do know that this means a lot more people will naturally have the ability to download information from the Akashic Records. And I would absolutely say that's what Einstein was doing 100% when he came up with some of his concepts and things like that. And like I say, he was a Pisces, and I do really feel like this sort of very groundbreaking, you know, like Einstein used his imagination as well to also help him, you know, delve further into his scientific theories and explore them and get his equations. And I do really feel like, you know, it is not just the emotions, but the imagination that you guys have is really, really powerful. Okay, so then we have the Page of Stones. So I do feel as well there's going to be a solid offer of something coming in for you guys, but we're going to confirm what this is. Okay, then we have the King of Blades. So we have the King of Swords. So with this as well, I do think I know this, I really felt this with some of the other powers, but you're going to have a very, very keen perception. Really, really trust your keen perception. And also when I see the King of Blades like this next to the moon, I just really see as well like a massive amount of cohesion and synergy between your emotions, the moon, I'm saying the moon is your emotions in this, and your thoughts, the King of Swords. And I think there's almost going to be a really, it's almost like a harmonious marriage between your feelings and your thoughts. And that's going to also be one of these things that allows you to download more information and ideas from inspiration outside what we usually have as human beings. Wow. Okay, pile number 2 also had this, the Tower. I mean, this just really tell me, you know, Pisces, there's some big shifts going on for Pisces. Just one second, I just want to have a look at the chart, because to get 2 Tower cards out in both message 2 and message 3, let me just see. I don't know, you know what, I just want to put, you know what, I'm just going to do this right now. Let me just quickly, guys, what is it that's so powerful going off for Pisces energy in general? Because with these 2 Tower cards that we've had, I'm hearing 3 cards and we don't read them reverse. This is just a little sub reading, so let's just have a look. So we have Strength, we have 2 of Cups, oh wow, and we have 6 of Earth. Okay, so this card here, I'm just going to show you them like this. I don't know if you can see it. It says emotional stability despite trying circumstances. So one thing I do know is there is a lot of trying circumstances anyway in 2021, as if you have to be psychic to work that out given 2020. But there will be a lot of instability, and obviously a lot of humans will feel highly unstable because of that, and therefore a lot of human beings will find that their emotions are more choppy than usual, put it that way. So I think one of the things that's going to be so powerful for you guys with the Tower card, and I just mean this for all the Pisces energy now, is just this whole kind of thing of I think you'll be able to hold, I'm seeing an image of this ship, right, and you're steering the rudder of the ship, and actually although there's like gale force winds and there's maybe the sirens in the sea that are enticing men, I feel like you're really, really clear on what is true for you, because you're really paying attention to your emotions, and actually being true and honest to your emotions actually provides you emotional stability, and it actually helps ground you. Even though some people might say sometimes why are you being so emotional, or emotions or whatever, actually that's just their dis-ease with emotion. Because for you that have chosen this pile, I can really feel how, and to be fair, this is something I really resonate with. If I do not express my emotions, it actually creates a huge amount of instability somewhere else in my life, because it's like, because I'm not expressing those emotions and I have a lot of emotional energy, that energy has to go somewhere, and it usually ends up going somewhere undesired and unexpected, and it can cause me chaos. So actually using my emotions and expressing them in the moment at the right time actually is a stabilizing factor for me, and it allows me to navigate my life easier. And I really see this with you guys. So that, and also I'm hearing as well, this is going to make you a little bit like and this helps on for another region, I can't remember which one, but like the one-eyed man, you know, where everybody else is blind, the one-eyed man is king. And I do feel like if you have a good a good appreciation of your emotions and how to work with them. When things become emotional for just generally everybody at some points in 2021, you are actually going to be able to work with that energy, whether so many people will be disrupted by that energy. Essentially, you have a toolkit so that you can navigate the circumstances that are coming up in 2021, and a lot of people actually don't. And this is actually what can also give you, I'm seeing the Tower now for you guys is very much a power energy. It's a power that's available to you, a power that can create in circumstances that most people find destructive. You will actually be able to find them creative because of how you understand how to navigate your emotions and scenarios and trust yourself. Also with this one, we also got here then, Two of Water. I don't know if you can see it here. It says carefree, open-minded, second wind. And again, I just feel like second wind feels like I feel like you're going to know when things are coming. So again, this is going to give you a better opportunity to make the most out of whatever is occurring. And again, this open-mindedness once again allows you to see possibilities where most people see problems. And the carefree energy I'm just seeing is it's this relaxed energy. It's like you are in the eye of the storm, and you're in the eye of the storm at the center where you can see all the chaos going around you, but you feel still calm and centered. And again, this just gives you, I keep hearing power, the power to be highly creative in 2021, because once again, you know how to work with and navigate these type of energies. And then lastly, this is one of my favourite cards in this deck because there's a part of me that's a gambler at heart. But it basically says here, treasure, assets, gambling. Whenever this card comes up, I always feel like this definitely means there's going to be a really great, almost like jackpot opportunity for something. And I do have a feeling like the way that this has all come out, and also with this card here when we're asking about the Tower card, what I really feel with all of this is this really great opportunity that can be highly lucrative in whatever way it might be. I do think it comes out of being able to navigate a storm that most people get capsized by, and you navigate this storm, and so you manage to make it to Treasure Island, and then once on Treasure Island you easily find your treasure. Now most people don't even get to Treasure Island because they got capsized by the storm, and I really feel like you guys are not going to be upskittled by the changes that occur in 2021. And if you are upskittled, I feel like you'll still understand how to navigate and get to Treasure Island so that you can get that treasure chest. And again, I do feel like because Jupiter is going to be active in people that have chosen this pile, I do really feel that's a really beneficial, supportive, good luck type of energy. Now I just want to see what this is. Which cards should we use? Yeah. Okay. So what is this opportunity that's coming in through the Page of Stones? Okay, we'll read them reversed if they come out reversed. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands in reverse, so interesting. Pile 2 also had the Three of Wands in reversed. By the way, this reading feels very different to the message 2. And then we have, wow, Justice. Okay, so what I can really feel like this is, and feel into what this is personally for you, I really feel like the opportunity that's coming in for you guys is basically, it's a balancing out of karma. And it's interesting we just talked about Jupiter, because I feel like Jupiter's going to be delivering you some good karma, particularly once it really starts activating that Pisces energy in May, June and July, and then it will return into Pisces at the end of December, beginning of January 2022. But I can feel like there is something that, there's an opportunity that you tried to create in the past, or there was an opportunity that was present that could have been really, I'm going to leave it open, it would have been really lucrative to you, either on a money level, on a heart level, on a creative level, whatever it is, and it actually just didn't pan out the way that you thought it would, or in the time that you thought it would. But I'm hearing that that is still, that isn't a, it isn't that you missed the boat with that, it's that you're almost there too soon. And I think sometimes Pisces energy can do this, believe it or not, because you're very intuitive, and because sometimes it's, you can blend boundaries with different timelines and realities without even realizing. Sometimes I think it can mean you think things will happen quicker than what they actually will. Because you've kind of got you've got the intuition of Neptune, but you've also got the expansion and the future thinking of Jupiter. So it can kind of put your energy field ahead of reality. But I'm hearing whatever this is, it's something that's it's still waiting for you. It just hasn't been the right time. But it looks like 2021 is going to be the right time for something with whatever this is to do with. And it just feels like I'm not going to say your wish or your dreams are going to be answered, but it's kind of like something that was really due to you on some level and that you were waiting for and that you were hoping for is going to be coming through. And again, this kind of feels like, because on some level it comes through, just because it's a timing thing, I feel also if it relates to another person or a situation that involves more than just you, i.e. it's more than just your energy involved, I feel like there was also something going on with this other person or this other situation, which also hadn't got to the point where there could be the fulfillment of whatever this was, whether it was a balancing of karma, when it was a stepping into good karma together, releasing old karma together, or just like balancing the books, righting the wrongs, let's say. I do feel like this is something that looks like it's going to be coming in for you guys in 2021. And again, I feel like it could be because if this is a balancing of karma where, you know, the righting of a wrong. By the way, it's not like things are ever right or wrong, but you know what I mean? Just something that was made, something that created a charge and was disharmonious now needs to be decharged and made harmonious. That kind of thing is what I mean when I say righting of a wrong. I feel like it could have something to do with this sort of energy here that we discussed about the breakthrough of the Tower moment, of you being able to create something, receive something, manifest something where other people, it's like as your luck goes up, some other people's luck goes down, and there becomes almost like this balancing of something. It's kind of that sort of energy that I do feel as well. Because almost, so if you think about this gambling here, and I want to think about the casino energy, this is just a metaphor. As like the punter wins, the casino loses. There's that kind of energy going off. Although I am also being told that won't always be the case for all of you, because also we live in a limitless universe. So it isn't like if somebody's done something wrong to you in the past, then in order for there to be a completion of the cycle, they must right that wrong. It's like we're going into a cycle and a reality where it's not so black and white, and it's not so linear, if you know what I mean, like a right and a wrong, and right something that went wrong, fix something that went wrong, heal something that went wrong, or you need to heal something to make it right, or you need to fix something to make it right. That's actually going to be an old kind of energy concept that in the future human beings won't even process information in that way. So also for a lot of you, it won't be in the way that we've just described about righting or wrong, but for a lot of you also it'll be just this thing about it's just a case of you are now in a place to receive something which previously you weren't in a place to receive something, and it's non-relevant to do with the opposite party or whoever is involved, etc, etc. So there's different ways as well that energy is kind of going to be playing out for you. So just so you can, I don't know, just so that you're aware of that. And also I'm hearing that for a lot of you Pisces, deep down inside, you won't even have a need for somebody to right or wrong, because you will get this whole kind of like higher consciousness level of kind of like there is no right, there is no wrong, the universe is unlimited. The universe isn't a closed system, it's an open system, and because it's an open system, there isn't this same kind of like old-fashioned energy of like, oh, but things have to be balanced, so karma needs to be balanced out. It's not actually about that, and that's something that we're going to be going into as a collective consciousness and starting to see it and understand it in new ways. And I do really feel like with this kind of energy, I feel like you guys are going to be at the forefront of it. So what's also coming through to me is that part of 2021 is you guys are very much going to be starting to understand some kind of new laws or new appreciations to do with karma and how karma works. And it's going to be different for all of you. So just pay attention to this. pay attention to any information or any intuitive insights that you have about new ways that people are communicating about karma. And not just new ways that people are communicating about karma. I'm also hearing just like new ways that people are communicating about the laws of the universe. So you know how there's like the law of cause and effect and the law of karma and the law of attraction and all of these kind of things. Many of these things are going to be almost like I'm hearing rewritten as they adjust to this new Aquarius type of energy that's coming in, this new air energy. And it's going to be a real game changer. So it's kind of like we're all going to be now going into a different game on, let's say, Tomb Raider. We're all going up a level on Tomb Raider. And in this second level of Tomb Raider, or whatever level we're on, I don't even know. But whatever, we're going up. And in this new game level, there are new rules and new laws, like there often are anyway in like gaming games. Not that I know, because I don't play them, but that's just what I'm getting told. And obviously it makes sense. So, yeah. So consider that. I just want to now know just a little bit more personal. Anything else we need to know about the Tower card? Let's just get one more for all of these major arcana since they're big energies. And it does really feel like something really big is going off. So again, I just feel like there's something really, really big changes. And I suppose the thing is as well, with Jupiter going to move into Pisces, May, June and July, and also the nose of the moon and the eclipses mainly being in Gemini and Sagittarius. Gemini and Sagittarius are also mutable signs like you, Pisces, so a lot of those eclipses are more than likely going to be highly significant for all of you with Pisces energy. So I guess the combination of all of this, and that Neptune is also in your home sign of Pisces, it actually means there's actually, although maybe at first glance you might not necessarily think this was a big year for Pisces. Actually, when you break it down like that, you realise, oh, this is a really big year for Pisces. And also the fact that Saturn is conjunct Jupiter, which happens at the end of 2020 in December, that's also in your 12th house. And your 12th house, this is the house you rule, Pisces. So there's so much emphasis on energy that is very, 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 very well aligned to you and very coherent with you. And I feel like as a result of that, this will obviously be a highly important and productive year for you guys. Whoop, okay, that flipped out, so we'll take it. Take all of these. Okay, and then we'll have this one that bridges both of them. Right, so with Judgment, we have Fortitude, which is the Strength card. You know, with this line here as well, and just in the position, I do really think, again, this is something about your creative expression. And I mean creative expression really loosely, because right now I'm being shown the 5th house in astrology. So that's the energy of kind of Leo. This is kind of like taking almost center stage to do with something. Or it's more like letting your full essence out and be seen by everybody in whatever way that is relevant to you. Because it will be different things for different people. I don't feel like we read any of these reversed, by the way. So then we have 7 of coins, and that was next to the moon. Okay, so you know what, with this here, I actually do feel like for some reason we're being shown swans by the looks of it as the coins. And I do really feel like one of the swans is flying away. I think there's a new understanding for you guys about loss. And I don't necessarily mean loss in a particularly overly heavy way, but I just think you're going to see, I'm hearing that you're going to be seeing your past in a very new, different light, and it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be very liberating for you. So there's something about the past that you start to see in a new way, and it becomes incredibly liberating for you. And in some ways, because it's right next to this moon card here, it also, it somehow releases a perception that you've had about yourself, which has been quite limiting. And as you release that limiting perception about yourself, it's like I see you becoming a lot more wiser and a lot more confident within yourself and your own human body, your own human experience. But like I say, it does feel like it's the release of some kind of limiting belief, limiting perception that you have about yourself. And I do feel like it's about something not being good enough, something something letting you down. someone or something letting you down, or even a part of yourself which I think lets you down. There's some kind of new awareness that you're having about that, and it actually becomes incredibly free and liberating. And again, I think because I feel like this card links into this card, I do feel like with the release of that loss of this perception in some kind of way, it once again allows you to just kind of express more of who you are, and in a more authentic way. And again, it's just this authentic expression, this creative expression. It allows you to do this more freely and with a lot more ease. And as a result of that, I feel like you Pisces start to step into much more happiness. And therefore, you seem to have naturally so much more good luck because you feel so much happier. So I feel like you guys are people where, if you've ever done stuff like gratitude, and I think particularly gratitude, stuff about feeling like happy for what you've experienced, for what you have. There's something about happiness that's a really big deal for a Pisces energy. And I just feel like the more that you're tapping into that energy, the more that you find Jupiter interacts with you, and the more you get opportunities and good luck. And the more, I don't know, things just sort of like seem to turn in your favour. I don't know, like your luck changes. So I think as well, if you go through time periods in 2020 when you're not feeling particularly lucky, definitely check into how happy you're feeling. And I would imagine there is some real correlation between good luck and bad luck, and happiness or unhappiness for you guys. And as I say that, oh my God, the tips of both of my ears feel like burning hot. I don't know, so I feel like what I've just said then is really relevant and important in some way. Definitely step into more of your own happiness in whatever way that is. And then we have Knight of Coins, and I feel like this energy straddles the Strength card and the Seven of Coins we just pulled out. Let me just feel into that. What's that all about? Right, okay, I just feel like, and this Knight of Coins actually kind of relates into what we were saying about some kind of like karmic type of thing coming in your favour now in some kind of way, and also you letting go of some kind of loss or whatever it might be, and being able to therefore express yourself more openly in some way, more authentically. I just think the Knight of Coins says that therefore something that you have been wanting and been working on for a while is able to start making its way to you, when previously it couldn't make its way to you because you weren't you just weren't fully open to receive it, is what I'm hearing. It wasn't anything really particularly about your vibration, as in you were out of alignment with it or anything. It was more just like you just weren't quite open to receive it. Because I feel like whatever this is that's coming in is definitely got something to do with happiness. It's something that will make you feel incredibly happy. And I just think you just need to be mindful, Pisces, that when you go into a place of, I keep getting the energy of like loss, so it kind of feels like whatever you think loss feels like to you, almost like loss of hope is what I'm hearing. You know, when you like the loss of your imagination, the loss of your belief in like in the impossible. You know, I think it's really important that you guys always have this kind of like optimistic kind of seeing the magic in life when lots of other people don't. So like, you know, you being in a youthful energy is, I think, really, really important to certain opportunities and propositions. I'm actually hearing the word, certain propositions coming into you. That's just something that's really important. And so again, anything that you can do so that you're enjoying your life and you're really enjoying your experiences will really help to I don't know, like kind of bring all of this kind of energy into you. Now let's just choose some more. Oh, whoa, didn't turn this one over. Okay, so that instantly tells me this is something hidden. Whatever this is this isn't going to be obvious, and it's going to happen after you would expect it. So what is it? Oh, wow, the Queen of Coins. Okay, so what this is this is something to do with you. It's interesting. It's something to do with you having emotional fulfillment to do with something creative. So if it's a creative project, if it's a business, if it's having children, if it's actually having a partner, whatever it is, it's this kind of energy of something is going to happen after you expect it will happen. So you might think something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen and you think that's the end of it. But I'm hearing that again, you've got this theme a little bit, because that was like this karmic thing we were talking about here. You think that there's been a missed opportunity and it's not returning. Well, it sort of is. And with this one here, I really just feel like with, you know, this whole thing, you'll think something might happen, something really good and positive for you, but then it doesn't happen in the time frame that you thought it would. So you'll kind of ultimately think it won't happen, but then actually that's when it actually starts happening. So I think with this one is definitely just be mindful that you don't allow yourself to go into an overthinking space. Not that you guys would, Pisces, unless you obviously have maybe, well, I suppose if you have Mercury or something like that in Aquarius, you might be a bit more of an overthinker. Although maybe I think more what it is there's just going to be a lot of energy within like the subconscious realm with your 12th house, as we discussed, and also in the 3rd house of the conscious mind. There's also a lot going off there for you. And these are both at a point of intense conversation. So I just think you need to also be careful that you don't overthink about things, particularly when you get intuitive insights about where things are going. And also, like we said to you before, about how, you know, often you guys can really be in massive anticipation of the future, because you can feel the future as if it's almost already here because of your psychic senses and your boundaries and stuff. And I just think this is a call just to be mindful of this, to try and just watch yourself on that, catch yourself on that, make sure you get back into the flow. So you might get a real intuitive insight, something's going to happen, acknowledge that, like, get it, and then almost let yourself forget it again and just focus on whatever's going on in the present. There's something about that that's really important. And I do feel as well that for a lot of you, something like this has happened before in the past. You thought something was going to happen, you've been given a really strong intuition, then it didn't happen, only to happen a lot later than what you thought. So yeah. So now let's just get out some oracles. I'm just getting a message for you guys as well. One sec. Let me just get a... Okay, so if you know my readings before, when we do the Akashic Records, we also get random messages that we channel from the Akashic. Then in the extended, we'll pull out additional readings to make sense of it. The more abstract they are, usually the Akashic Records say this is a great way to like bypass conventional thinking and get into some deeper messages that usually aren't easily accessible within the Akashic Records to the human mind. Anyway, so this is what we get here. It says, the sweet tea is by your bedside lamp. So I don't know what that means, but obviously we'll go into that in the extended. Let's see what's going on here. It's really interesting as well. Your spread is the first one that's come out like diagonal like this. I do really think this is about you seeing things sideways. See things sideways. So see things from a slight angle. I guess like Einstein would have definitely been having to see things from an angle, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to have got the breakthroughs that he did get. And I'm just hearing, you just want 2 of these. Okay, let's see what we get. So, we have, oh wow, no friggin' way. Okay, the Octopus, and it says here, beware. This message also came out in message number 2. Okay, then we have this card here, energetic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. Again, interesting, from the same deck, we didn't have that message, but we had something about boundaries, and obviously this is about boundaries again. And here, see what we have. Corn woman, nourishment. Okay. Okay, then we have mountains, stand your ground. I also see this as something about your highest potential and your ninth chakra, your soul star chakra. Just channeling that instantly. And then here, oh wow, we have Mars. So vitality, aggression, action. And then we, oh wow, then we have 5 of water on this one. And this one says, underlying emotional issue, self-doubt and fear. Okay, wow, I think that's really powerful, because I do know that Pisces energy can definitely have this thing about so much confidence due themselves, and then also just really feeling like a lot of self-doubt as well. And yeah, so we'll definitely need to go into that. So what we'll do is we'll now take this into the extended. We'll obviously channel this, pull some more cards for it. We'll channel your crystal. We'll go into all of these oracles, and we definitely need to work out what is going on here, because we're having beware with the octopus, and then also we've also got this card here about something basically being something's going on below the surface that you're not yet aware about, and you just need to be aware about it, otherwise it could give you some trouble. So we'll totally look at that and work out what that is. And then last of all, we'll just get a reading from the I Ching, and I'll read it out of the book for you, so you get your own personal message to do with, well, from the words of the Chinese oracle, because it's an awesome one. Cool, so I hope you enjoyed that so far. It'd be great for you to follow me through to the extended. You can get that reading on abigailgracepsychic.com, my website. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook on Abigail Grace Psychic, and also other social medias, because there's quite a lot of new social medias coming out, so you'll always find me under Abigail Grace Psychic. And then my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, just post lots of different information on whole different tools, and they're like short videos, like 10 minutes kind of thing, just quick concepts and stuff. So you might also find that useful. Also remember to come back to this channel anytime in 2021 and just ask your intuition to tell you which zodiac sign in the Akashic Records holds the answer you most need to hear right now, and whatever answer you get, go with it. So if it literally says Aries, but you have nothing relevant in Aries, don't even worry about it, just go there, and I'm sure that'll be the exact message that you need, because the Akashic Records works in a really non-linear, abstract way. So that's also one of the best ways to access its energy. It's kind of like why we also do these kind of weird cryptic notes. But in that same way, it's like going beyond the borders of your own convention and not necessarily thinking about your own astrology as in that's the zodiac sign that you need to get your message from. Like, trust your intuition to guide you, because you do have really powerful intuition. Cool. Anyway, hopefully speak to you guys soon, and yeah, have a great time wherever you're at in 2021. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon.